We are live. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Scoot over a little bit. Welcome. We are day 47 of 365 days of guitar practice. If you are brand new, welcome. I'm Jay Wills, midlife dude getting back into making music, more specifically learning how to play guitar from scratch after hanging everything up 22 years ago. For all of you returning subscribers, thank you so much. So how this normally rolls, if you are brand new, I usually go through a little, almost forgot. It's Telecaster Thursday. However, we're going to be using the Tele tonight for sure. But it's going to be because I want to have 2 days a week that are just kind of hardcore on the practice side. So Triad Tuesday was a struggle bus on Tuesday. Today's going to be tap and tempo Thursdays, I think, from now on, because I have underestimated the power of having some kind of backing track. I'm now using it every time I pick up the guitar. Sometimes I don't. I have a jam session without it, but it's been very helpful. All that to say, so welcome to Tap and Tempo Thursdays. We're going to be diving deep. I have some ideas on this, but anywho, I go through a little intro, my own rendition, still struggling through a couple of new things that I'm working on. And then if you're nice enough to leave any comments, I go through anyone and all who leaves a comment, I will acknowledge it here in about 2 minutes every day, because we're doing this for 365 days in a row until I can play guitar. So with that, let's fire some stuff up and get rolling, rock and roll. We're gonna be standing most of the night, simply because, and we're gonna pull out the music stand. I have some ideas that I wanna go through. I might move the camera around a little bit. I'm also experimenting with a different position. I completely reset up this whole thing. Most of it all works now. It's still not all connected. But anywho, let's go through a little intro, but also playing around with strap positions. Oh, hold on. I don't want to scratch up the goddamn guitars. Oh, we're clean. Well, you know what? Maybe we'll go a little bit of clean for the intro. It's been a while since we did a clean intro, so we'll start a clean intro. Wow, it just doesn't sound the same. Ugh. Well, it's maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit of gain. Just a little bit. All right, with that, let's hit that intro. Oh, let's try that again. I like to end on a good one. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. All right, let's hit a few comments, and then we're going to get into the grindy stuff. It won't be so grindy. Let's get all this turned on so we're good to go on that front. All right. Miss Jackson, I know you want to get played tonight, but you need new strings, and now you're just giving me more for guitar porn for the next 2 days for people to look at. So, all right, with that, let's get the glasses on. See who and all, if anyone, has thrown some comments out for today. The old dashboard. All right. Oh, my God. Thank you all. We were at 377 subscribers yesterday. Now we're at 385. My goodness. You are all a bunch of wonderful guitar-loving souls. All of you. All right, so let's go to the community spot where all the comments typically are. All right, let's see. All right. All right, here we go. At B40. All right, cool. We're on the right one. At Kurt Janes 8223. Welcome back, brother. Friday free play day, Friday high gain day. I like the game day. So Friday's going to be Friday gain day. Yes. Rock and roll. That's what that's going to be. I love it. Today's going to be a grind. Sort of. You got to have fun with it, especially if you're an old dude like me. So we're going to have some fun with it. I like to always break out and fiddle around a little bit. Roger Tinker 1813, welcome back, brother. Thanks, man. You got some pretty heavy jamming today. Yeah, yesterday was pretty cool. I just kind of zoned out, and sometimes you just gotta play around until you get it right. At Derek7469, I've never been a fan. Oh, hold on, I gotta go read more. Give me a sec. All right. Oh, this is long. No worries. I've never been a fan of practicing to a metronome. That makes you and me both, brother. I was lucky enough as a kid to buy a Yamaha DD5 drum machine from an older neighbor who was kind enough to sell it to me for $1. That's awesome. I had a piano that was given, an upright grand piano. That's the first piano that I started playing on when I was 9 years old. It was given to me by a neighbor. We had to have it tuned, but nonetheless, Dale and Doris DeLigi, back home, Nebraska. Best investment as a kid wanting to learn guitar. Play along to a metronome always felt like grunt work and uninspiring. 100%. I have 2 metronomes, and they both work. There's a reason that in 47 days they have not came out of a box. Because I used to use those things relentlessly from my piano and sax teacher. Yeah. But they do good things. But I didn't have a drum machine. Playing along to a drum beat really helped me develop my rhythm chops and allowed me to practice along to a wide variety of genres, 100%. One more tip I wish I had known early on in my development as a guitar player is to learn intervallic functions. I have no idea what that is, but I'll look that up. I'll check that out. I had rented out the Guitar Grimoire book from the library, even begging the librarian to order all the other editions, and I was never able to soak in any of the theory that was presented in the book. Most likely due to my reading disability, high ADHD. I can relate on many levels of that, my brother. I did discover that guitar is modular. Unlike other instruments such as piano, you can learn any pattern, shape, chord, and keep the same shape. Just move it across the fretboard. Yes, I definitely have figured that out. Whereas the piano C major and D major have completely different patterns you must learn from scale. Yes, 100%. I agree. I played piano for over a decade, and yes, still do. That is 100% true. What made music theory click for me was when I discovered intervallic functions, understanding the distance between notes on the fretboard, not just individual note names. Major 1-4-5 and minor 1B flat third and 5/5. Yeah, to me the most important aspect to learn music is be able to detect instantaneously if the music is major or minor, and then you'll realize that everything is compared to major in the grand scheme of things. Music theory is like a puzzle. Playing hard rock, metal, I think a lot of players early on set themselves up for failure because they get conditioned to playing power chords. Super duper guilty of that. And they never experience the wonderful world of major, minor, sevenths, and etc. Keep it up, man. I'll be checking out your progress and develop. Subscribe. Oh, thanks, brother. Appreciate it. And welcome, for sure. Let me double check, make sure there's no other comments. We're good. All right, sweet. We're solid. Let me close that out. Sweet. All right, so here's the thoughts for this evening. So I'll just show my little, this is my metronome, my 25-year-old Boss Dr. Rhythm DR880. You'd be amazed this thing still actually works, and it does. I have that running into an $89 super cheap bass custom cab off of Amazon, and that's my beat, that's my backing. So, however, this has got a ton of presets on it. Let me get this over here, situated. Knock Miss Jacks over. Don't need these books. Actually, we need. Where's my gigs? Hold on. Got to get the old gig bag book scales out. This thing's actually really handy. So what we're gonna do, and we're gonna go through some warm-ups first, just have some fun, and then what I'm gonna do is, like the first preset on here is called Cool Groove. Sounds like this. Okay. However, it gives you a bunch of information on here. So this is the key of G. So what I want to do after we warm up and do some finger work, come over here, get into the G section. Jesus. So we'll come over to G, like a G major scale somewhere. It's got to be G. Here, where's G at? If you're brand new and you are still listening, these are unedited, unscripted, and we just roll with it. You get to watch a old dude struggle his way into guitar and hopefully make some noticeable progress. I feel I've made some progress since day one. Here we go. G major Ionian. So this is in the key of G. We're going to take one of these 5 patterns here in this Ionian G scale. Yeah, it's not going to be exact, but it'll give me a good framework to fiddle a little around and try to go through all of that while keeping pace with that. And I will definitely, this thing's already at, yeah, it's 103. We'll keep it there. Sometimes I bring it down to like 90 to make my brain not melt as much. However, what I've been playing around with recently, and it's going to melt some ears because it's not, there's no editing on this. And I am learning this from scratch. So I am day 47 at learning how to play guitar and playing guitar. So there's that. So how I normally start out, you can do a quick pattern. You can make up your own. So I basically make up my own like this. I do an 8-beat cymbal. I do an 8-beat snare. I'm not even going to put any percussion to it, but it sounds like, and then we're going to go tempo down to 100. And then it sounds like this. Super basic, right? And what I typically have been doing recently, I'm gonna start bouncing around. Some of these are kind of fun, especially if we turn the gain up a little bit and have some fun. However, basically what I've been doing is just kind of fiddling around in like a kind of a pentatonic shape-ish. And then I break out if I want to, right? Slow and grinding for sure, because I just want to go fast. But it's good to stay in rhythm. And you miss a couple sometimes. Trying to stay in rhythm with all that, but sometimes you gotta have some fun with it though. So hard not to just start skipping around. I am totally guilty of that. However, all right, so that's how we're gonna do that. I'm just gonna go up and down the neck a few times. This is gonna be a bit of a, not theory night, but it's not gonna be the usual, like, well, I'm gonna jam a little bit, but that's why we're here, that's why we practice. Not any necessary pattern or note to this. This is just, these are segments of how I normally warm up in the morning with my coffee session. Now let's see if I can hit a note on every single one. Not necessarily a pattern, but just, and that's the other part too. I like to break out. And even though I know the patterns and the note specificity is important, just being able to have your fingers hit on a beat every time, I think is important. I found it to be useful. It's also very challenging not to miss. You just gotta keep rolling through it if you do, so. And then try not to stop and get back on tune. Oh, it's hard. Sometimes you just gotta stop, start over. Stick to, I'm going to trying to get a little fancy with it in the mornings, but this is typically what I can stay steady with. Back and forth between straight economy picking and alternate picking. So some of you are like, hey, you're only picking down. It's like, not all the times. I'm consciously doing that. I never used to be doing that, but I've gotten further in these books, and the up and down picking is something I've been working on. So there was that. Let's just buzz out just some chords a little bit. See, it's going to be tempo, tapping the foot, so tapping tempo Thursday, right? Same thing, just with some gain. That's all. We're gonna keep fiddling. You know, let me check the phone, make sure the old iPhone's not dying and going south. No, we're good. Oh, like 24 minutes. No worries. All good. Oh, the ears are melting tonight. How's that doing that? Damn! I don't know, but that's kind of a cool sound. We'll put a little drums in the back of that. Have a little bit of fun. We'll go a little more volume. Go a little more volume there, so we can go a little more volume here. It's always how it works, right? Spider on me. Or bug of sorts. So it happened to just come from a job site that had lots of spider webs. I don't mind spiders, just not on me all the time, you know? Sometimes you just don't want to do what you want to do. Drop that down so fast. Sometimes I overdo this on this one because she's so sensitive and I forget. So, other ones I gotta twist a lot. Damn. That's funny shit. All right, so I think that brings us well past 30 minutes. And if any of your wonderful souls are still listening, haven't melted your eardrums too much, thank you. And I do believe 47 in the bag. Yeah, I kind of skipped over that. Sometimes that happens. That's why we practice every day. So, with that, peace. See you tomorrow.